So today we're going to talk about accountability. And if you think you need accountability for your goals, then you got some shitty goals. Holla, holla.
What's up, HP?
I heard somebody say that the other day.
Somebody called you Mr. P recently, and I thought that was just so cute. I was like, I like that.
That was Bryce at the Ritz.
Yes.
He said, what's going on, Mr. P?
Yeah. I was like, I like that.
Yeah, I like Bryce. Actually, he was a young guy. Worked at the Ritz. By the way, plug for the Ritz in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
High quality of service and attention. And that guy Bryce you're talking about was young, sharp,
into personal development,
beyond like wisdom. Yeah.
It's always nice to meet young people that don't have their head up their ass like I did. There you go. Like I did. So if you do, there's hope for you.
He was somebody I can assure you at the ripe age of late 20s, maybe early 30s that who didn't need accountability. And that's what we're talking about today.
Yes. And that's when you find the young people that are beyond their years in wisdom, that is usually one area that they're ahead in.
But in conversation before going into this, it was interesting and just the difference in how or perspectives of that word accountability.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, with my second thought, I'm like, actually, they really know what it means. They know the true form of accountability.
Well, you looked up the definition.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, now I'll read the definition. So it means required or expected to justify actions or decisions responsible. I read that definition because I know there was a period in our career when we first got started where I had some bitterness and resentment towards our mentorship team. Mm-hmm. And I kept a big, long list of all the things they were doing wrong or they weren't doing in my head, or they weren't doing for us. And I know there was a time where I often complained that there was lack of accountability or they didn't keep me motivated. Mm-hmm. And the reality was I look at this definition now, knowing what I was really asking was that they coddled me or they did the things for me or they could feel feelings for me that I wasn't feeling for myself to make me inspired or to make me motivated. Yeah,
because there's certain words, and I agree with that 100% because I was right there with you. But I think there's certain words that are innately weak. And I think there's some words that can become weak when people use them the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And this is through the lens of HP. Through me. But to your point, using accountability in that way is weak. It's a crutch. Mm-hmm. It's to be a victim. Mm-hmm. It's like when we're on calls, we have the privilege, and we have the honor to mentor and speak into a lot of people over the last 10 years and hundreds of people weekly. And I mean, past weekend, you had opportunity to speak to tens of thousands. Mm-hmm. And it's an honor and it's a privilege.
Yeah.
But in that process, we hear it, and you just said we did the same thing, but it's people expecting their mentorship or their spouse or their boss, whatever it may be, to hold them accountable to what they say they want to create, what they say is a priority to them.
Yep.
You're expecting so it was just the other night on a call, and I was like, I said this verbatim. I said, if you're out there and you're expecting someone, and this is through my filter, if you're expecting someone to hold you accountable to your goals, then you got some shitty ass goals.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's some people who got offended by that because that's what they do. It's cloudy in Arizona today and they're offended.
The exact kind of person that uses accountability in the wrong way, they actually are not even, you might as well change the word, the way that they're viewing it. Those people live their lives offended because they're getting by placing the blame on something or someone else.
But my point of that was, because we were used it the same way. So I'm not,
Oh, yeah.
you know, we used it the exact same
love
way. But
blaming
being on the
other
other
people.
side of that is it wasn't until we got crystal clear, and we call it creating your magnificent day, on what we wanted to create, to where we could smell it, taste it. We knew it was coming down the pipeline. Like we got out of bed with excitement to go after it another day, to chip away, right? Like to go chop down some more trees to create the road to where we could pave it and get to it. It wasn't until we got to that point of excitement, we could smell it, we could see it. It just wasn't there yet. We didn't know when, we didn't know how long, but we knew it was just a matter of time. We didn't need any accountability at that point. Yep. And that's what, for instance, like coming into our industry, is oftentimes we see people walk away from this because they expect their mentorship to hold them accountable to their goals. Whereas when we came in this industry, the people who were helping and guiding us, they did as best they could to get us to a certain point, but they couldn't get us to where we wanted to go because they had not done it either. So if we would have just boo-hooed and said, oh man, they're not holding us accountable to our goals, it wasn't because they didn't want to.
Yep.
It was one, they shouldn't have to. And two, they couldn't. So if we would have just boo-hooed and kicked the can and walked away and said, woe is me.
Yeah.
Then shame on us. And too many people do that.
Yep.
But we were crystal clear on what we wanted to create because it was a priority. And we didn't need anyone to hold us accountable. What we needed was guidance, wisdom, and a little bit of support. Not accountability.
Right.
Not accountability towards my goals. And I think words are powerful. So I just think that if you're using that word as a crutch, you're misusing that word. And I just think it's important to get clarity on that.
Well, it's important. And also for anyone that might be listening to this right now, if you're like, yeah, okay, me too. I think I'm asking the wrong thing of my mentorship. And it's taking away your power to be the creator of your life. So on one hand, by accepting that you are using accountability really more of like, hey, coddle me, disempower me. I can put the blame on you. Therefore, I don't feel like the failure. You're also giving away your right to be successful. And you used to say something, you still use this. Anytime we bring on a new coaching partner.
Oh, yeah.
And we are setting the path. We set the path for people.
Yeah.
You choose if you're going to see the green light, you know. I can't make people run towards their goal if they decide they want to walk.
Well, what exactly?
I will love you through that. I will encourage you. That's great.
You're talking about when I say you the best thing about this business is you're going to be 100% responsible for all your success. Isn't that amazing? And people light up and they smile. And I say, but also, you're going to be 100% responsible for your failure. And they go, and they don't like that. But it's true.
Yeah.
Don't hold me accountable to your failure. Don't hold me accountable to your success either, though.
Yeah.
You know, or vice versa.
Well, and your disclaimer to that at the end is that you get to decide what kind of action you take.
Yeah.
Now, everything that you need to be successful is right here.
Yeah.
And will guide you the whole way. But ultimately, you decide what step you're taking, how fast you're doing it. You're the indicator of that.
Well, we were joking earlier. We were trying to, we were having a conversation and it was like, no one should have to hold me accountable to have fun and love my kids and provide for my kids. Like, why would someone have to hold me accountable to that?
Right.
It's like, if I want to have a better relationship with you and love you at a higher level, why would I need someone to hold me accountable to say, hey, you need to go hug her today. Did you get your 2 hugs in today? Like, obviously, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, that's not a priority enough to me if I need someone to tell me to go hug my wife.
Yeah.
Or to go spend time with my kids. And that's the thing, is if you find yourself saying you need accountability to lose weight.
Yep.
Look, I wish I had my steel-toed shoes on right now because I know I'm going to step on some. I'm telling you, this is a check yourself before you wreck yourself because it is debilitating you and because it did it to us. Everything we speak on is not through theory. It's because we were on the other side of this, guys. If you think you need accountability to lose the weight, to create the wealth, to change your life, to love your wife, to be a better person, it's not important to you. And you need to get more clarity to where you're jumping out of bed with excitement to actually go do it, not someone shaking you or calling you, telling you to go do it.
Amen.
That's the difference.
Yes. The first thing that you need to do is shift from blame is,
well, you know what?
is lack of awareness.
You said something. It is. It's a scapegoat just in case you fail.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't hold me accountable.
Yep.
Because we're all scared that we're going to look like a fool in front of our family, friends, and strangers for some reason. But, but yeah, it's just in case we fail.
Yep.
The excuse. Anyway, but yeah, so, but if you feel that way, you know,
to shift to the awareness. And here's the difference, okay? It's not the suddenly accepting all the blame and being like, see, then it's like you go from, see, I can't because this person didn't do this for me, to see, I can't because I suck or I'm not good enough. No, it's I haven't yet because I didn't do X, Y, or Z, but now I choose to do X, Y, or Z. So it's accepting responsibility, which puts the power back in your hands. That's that key awareness piece. And then quickly shifting from don't go into being self-deprecating then, shifting to I have the power to do these things. It's direction, awareness, responsibility, awareness, choosing your direction, and taking action on the things you can take action on.
Yeah.
One of the things we needed to start doing to take power of the direction of our business so many years ago was presenting. We figured out that the top businesses were presenting in various modes, allowing them to get in front of many people at one time versus how we, we'll do one-on-one assessments and things like that. And that's great. But we knew that we needed to scale. And we saw top leaders doing that. Well, our coaches weren't doing that. And we could have very easily, we probably did, I'm sure I did, think, well, why won't my leader, my coach do that for me? And then I asked myself, why don't I do it for myself? Why don't I do it for my team? And the reason why I didn't before was because I didn't think I could, or I was scared to. And then pivoting to what I wanted. Okay, well, what do you really want? Is your why strong enough? Is it clear enough to push your action in the direction of even doing the things that scare you the most?
Yeah, I like the running it through the filter of the 7 whys. And I think that could be, if you're listening to this and it resonates with you, that first part, and maybe it smushed a few of your little toes. That's a good thing. That's an awakening. I mean, it don't feel good, but it's good if you receive it to wake you up. Yeah. And what I would encourage you to do is to say why. Like, what are you expecting people to hold you accountable to? So let's say it's we'll go at weight because it's easy, to lose 25 pounds. Well, you stop there. So for some reason, you haven't ran it through the filter deep enough to get on a visceral level to where it really means something to you. Because right now you need someone to hold you accountable to 25 pounds. But what if you put it through the filter of the 7 whys and you said, well, why do I want to lose 25 pounds? Oh, because I'll be healthier. But why do you want to be healthier? Oh, so I can actually be excited to go run and play with my kids. But why do you want to run and play with your kids? Oh, because that's what life's about. I want to have experiences. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good mother. Or you run it through the filter and you keep going and going and going until it gets to something to where you don't need accountability anymore because you can feel that and you want that. And it's very, very, because on the surface, we're just too surfacey on what we want to create. And that's why you need accountability. It could be, because when I get up in the morning, I can't buckle my pants. Or when I get, well, why is that important to you? Oh, because I want my pants to fit. I want to feel confident, and I don't want to have to unbutton my pants when I sit down.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to run it through the filter until you get to the point to where you don't need accountability anymore. And you'll know when you get there. I'm telling you, because it'll feel lighter. You'll smile. You'll breathe. And you'll be excited that every day you get to move closer and closer to achieving that.
Yeah.
With or without support. Now, through that process, you may seek out, you may ask questions, you may look for guidance. That's different.
Yeah.
There's no expectation of that person or a need for that person to hold you accountable, because you got very, very clear through the filter of the 7 whys on what you want to create and why you want to create it and why it's so important to you. And that's what we're talking about on this podcast. Because I know on the surface, when I say these things without real, that's why I like this podcast, and I hope people listen to it through the entire thing, because I know on the surface, I can just come out and say, oh, well, if you need accountability for your goals and you got shitty goals. But I hope after listening to this, you see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You didn't get crystal clear. That was a shitty goal to say you wanted to just lose 25 pounds and stop there.
You didn't take full ownership for what you said you want to create.
Right.
And here's another level to this that helped us pivot from blame to responsibility and just ownership. I made a conscious decision to be grateful for every mentor in my life for what they brought to it. Meaning, I threw away all my list of what they weren't doing for me or what I thought they should do for me. And I acknowledged the one thing or the 2 things or the 3 or whatever it was, powerful things they brought to my life. For our immediate coach that brought us into this business, he was a rock for us in our marriage when we didn't know where to go. He got us to events. If he got us into the rooms and in front of people that we need to be in front of. And I will always, that was enough. That there was enough. And another one of our mentors got us into trainings and created a community for us when most of the other coaches were all in Oregon and all these other places. And we were like the only ones in Louisiana at the time. And I really just gave gratitude for every little things and mentors that I didn't even really get to spend time with. You know, some people don't realize that some of your best mentors, you may never, ever know. You read a book, you might consider Jim Rohn your mentor. Nobody's meeting him right now.
And as you're saying that, I'm going a different direction. I agree with all that too, but my mind started thinking about, like, how dare you or me to set that expectation for that person? Like, you got to hold me accountable to what I want to create. And then if you don't, how dare you set that expectation on somebody, put that on somebody else? They didn't ask for that.
Yep.
That's not their freaking goal. That's not important to them. Now, it's important to them if it's important to you, if they're a good mentor to guide you, like I said, support you, but not to motivate you and hold you to go do it.
Nope.
That's on you. Why are you going to go push that on somebody else as an expectation of them? They didn't ask for that. They got enough things, enough,
just a human being, just like you, right?
Yeah, but it's that extreme ownership. It's that extreme ownership. And I think once you come down and you run it through the filter and you take extreme ownership of what you want to create, your relationship with your mentors, your coaches, your spouse, your friends, it's just going to be at a whole nother level when you take ownership.
And be careful what you ask for too, because if you're asking for accountability in the wrong way, of you want someone to make you feel a certain way or to make you take action, people sell that. People package that up on the internet all day long.
Oh, because they know you're paying.
And people pay high dollar for it too. But do you think they're really getting what they want?
No. I had someone call me not too long ago, and I was on his scare list to call me to ask for support. But through the conversation, what he wanted, it's funny, I just thought about this, and what he wanted was his expectations was for me to hold him accountable after sitting there listening to him for 5-10 minutes. And this is someone I care about, love, and I'll contend for, and I'll help him however I can. Except I told him, I said, happy to help you, happy to guide you. I said, but what I won't do is hold you accountable and remind you every day that your goals are important to you. And I went on and on for probably another minute or two, and the way I do, and never heard from him again for 2 months. Finally seen him again. And he said, dude, you punched me in the mouth in a good way. And I realized what I was expecting of you because I hadn't gotten clear on what was important to me.
Yep.
And it was a game changer for him. It was
Absolutely.
a game changer for him. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, friends, I hope you got something amazing from this today. Make sure that you share this. We'd love to hear any conversation around what you've learned or concepts you're moving through. And remember, we believe that you deserve to live the life you desire. So make sure you go out and you create your new American dream.